Hello, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Today's episode is focused on the topic of get ready for people to get weird with you. 2025 is right around the corner. And if you're not ready, I need you to get ready, particularly when you are improving, when you're getting better, or when you plan to get better or do better. People are going to show you another side of them. Some people harbor jealousy, and of course we're used to that, most of us. But also, sometimes people get weird with you because you throw them for a loop when you go off script, when you go off or you veer off from how they thought things would turn out for you. You can particularly see this when you're doing bad or just not so good, or you're having a down moment. Sometimes people want to place themselves around you so that they can witness your downfall. They want to witness it firsthand. And then when you start to pull yourself out of it, the weird people will get mad at you. You're going off script. You're supposed to be sad. Now, they won't say this directly to you, but you'll see it in their actions. Also, some people have a problem when you start to exceed them. And that's also a form of going off script. If you're always the one who didn't have the most money and now you're making more, you're doing more, you have all of these things, entrepreneurships that you're getting off the ground, and now they see you as someone who is successful, but you weren't successful before. But what weird people don't realize is that you go through seasons of change. Everyone should be going through seasons of change. You shouldn't stay down forever. But see, they get you in this box. They want to put you in this box, and then they see you in a particular light, and it throws them for a loop, and they get upset when they see you in a whole nother light, because guess what? To them, you're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be there. I've had friends who witnessed this, and family members during their season of retirement. The people who are still working are jealous of them. Why are you jealous of them? Because they're retiring. They put in the work. And now they get to live the life of leisure. Why are you upset because someone is retiring? And I've had people tell me that when they retire, the people at the job stop speaking to them. They don't wish them well. They don't see them off. And I've experienced that as well. Leaving a job, leaving a profession. There were some people that wished me well on my new endeavors or my next chapter. And then there were some people who just turned their back as if that wasn't a part of the cult anymore. The work culture cult. Like, are you serious? You're really mad at me for doing something different, for going off script? Just because this is what I was doing, that doesn't mean that this is my final destination. I'm allowed to move on and do different things. I'm allowed to move on and do better things. So some people get really weird on you when you start to exceed them. Or just when you go off script and you're doing something totally different. You throw them off. They're used to you being one way. But as I preach, we should be changing for the better. So you're going to change. So people who are around you have to be people who can take that change. They can get used to that change. Or else they're going to have to fall off. And look, if they don't fall off, it's really going to be a problem because they're just going to stay mad. They're going to stay mad. And you, my friend, have to be willing to upset them and willing to lose them. Because guess what? If you're evolving, it's going to happen. And there's a lot of advice out there of things to do or how to cope when people are being outwardly mean to you. I really don't experience that a lot because I feel like people know who to try. They know who to try. They know who they can talk to and just be outwardly mean to. And not saying that it hasn't happened to me. Yes, it's happened, but I don't experience it a lot. But more so of what I experience is people being weird. Not outwardly mean, but just weird. Not outwardly rude, but weird. And I'm going to point these out to you during this segment. So one thing that people do when they get weird is they become dismissive. That's the first one. They become dismissive of you. And you really, like if you tell them some good news or some endeavor that you have going on, they don't say anything. They don't acknowledge that they've heard you, or, they just act totally uninterested. That is being weird. And it almost puts the doubt in your mind, like, did they hear me? So you may repeat it again. But then they continue to dismiss it or change the subject. That's one way that people can get weird on you. Another tactic that people display when they get weird is that they get silent. When you talk, sometimes they do pay attention, but they just don't say anything. They don't have anything to say. And I do believe sometimes that's because they don't have anything nice to say. So they just don't say anything. They don't give you anything. And it may trigger you or prompt you to ask, what do you think? Well, what do you think? And then maybe they'll open up. But they just get really silent when you talk, as if they don't hear you. Another thing that people do when they get weird is they may act as if they don't see you. And this is a big one, particularly for social media, because clearly they see you. Sometimes people may try to make up an excuse that, oh, my algorithm, I didn't see it on my timeline. I didn't see that on my page. Somebody's seeing it. You may not see it today, but you're going to see it tomorrow. You're going to see it eventually. And some people withhold likes, as silly as it sounds. But it's how they display their weirdness. They want to act as if they don't see you. It's a tactic to humble you, as if to say, you're not all that. You're not getting my like. And then they may take it a step further to even get mad when they get mad at the people who are liking it. They get mad when you get a whole bunch of likes. And that's the whole nother tactic. They might be withholding their likes because they see that you've gotten enough likes. So they're going to pretend like they don't see it. They're going to pretend like they don't see it. And if you're launching a business, I've been there. You're launching a business. They don't say anything. They act as if they don't see it, but they see exactly what you're doing. Now, if they were not weird, they would acknowledge it, right? They would congratulate you, acknowledge it, let you know that they see it. They may even try to support you in some way. Oh, well, how can I help out? I've been there. If you write a book, they could purchase the book. But they want to act as if they do not see you because they do not want you to get all the credit that you deserve. And they think that by them withholding their praise and withholding their well wishes and congratulations, they think that that is a flex. They see it as a flex. They think it's hurting you. They think it's humbling you. They think it's knocking you down a peg. Because guess what? You're going off the script. They didn't think you can do all that. They didn't think that you can make it happen. But here you are doing the thing. And these weird people are this one person who thinks that they matter that much. But they can't help themselves. They're weird. They're getting weird on you. So they're going to try these little tactics to humble you, and in hopes that it will hurt you or make you feel some type of way. Weird people will be inconsistent with you. They'll show you inconsistency by doing things like ignoring your invites. Oh, I have been there. as well. Everyone sees a text when it comes through. As I stated before, there may be a one-off when your service is bad and the text may not come through. There may be a time when the text comes through late. But to consistently not get someone's text unless they have the wrong number for you, I don't believe that it's consistently happening. So some people will be inconsistent with you. And it doesn't even have to be a text. It could be a call. They never get your call. They never get your DM. They never get any messages from you. They're being weird. They're being weird and they are ignoring you on purpose. So do not believe the hype. Do not fall for the hype that they are not receiving your invites or not receiving your messages. They just don't want to come. They just don't want to be bothered with you. Particularly if you have on there to RSVP yes or no. If you have that on there and someone is still ignoring you, they have no respect for you. They're getting weird on you because all it takes is to text back a Y or an N. That's not hard. Not hard at all. And see, people don't know how much money you spend on things when they're doing these little weird tactics. But they don't care. It's all in an attempt to bust you down. I'm going to tell you, the last event that I threw, I spent a whole lot of money on it, right? I sent out invites. I didn't want to do a evite because I said that may be too advanced for, the older people who are coming. They may not know how to get into the evite. So I just sent a basic text, just a basic text. Because it was an event that required a head count, I put on there that I would like for people to RSVP yes or no, either way. How can you get more simple or accommodating than that? It's a simple yes or no, a Y or an N. It can be sent back through text. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I said that. I said, please text me and let me know either way. Some people called. Y'all know people don't read. But it was all good. I appreciated it. I appreciated a call back or a text back. You know why? Because they were letting me know either way. Now, some people didn't say anything back. And I thought that was rude. I thought it was very rude. Now, I do get that sometimes you overlook things and you just may have forgotten. I've done that sometimes too. But then I'm sure whenever I do see it and I go back later on, even if it's after the event, I'll let the person know, my bad. I don't know how this got pushed to the back, but I overlooked it. It happens. It happens. I'm not saying that people have to be perfect and just fall in line for you. But what I am saying is that the ignoring and the inconsistency is a form of disrespect, and it's a form of being dismissive towards you. It's weird. It's what weird people do when they want to aim animosity towards you. And here's how I know that to be true. Because some particular people who came to the party told me that the person who did not RSVP yes or no, who totally ignored my invite, were the ones to tell them about it. They were the ones to tell them about it because they didn't get an invite from me. But they let me know that they were coming because so-and-so told them about it. But so-and-so didn't even have the common courtesy to message me back to let me know whether they were coming or not. And they didn't come. They didn't come. If you all want to know the outcome, they didn't come. But that just lets me know where I stand with those people, and that lets me know where those people stand with me. You can't even have the decency to let me know. So basically, you're ignoring me. You're being weird for no reason. Get ready for people to get weird with you. Get ready for it. It's going to happen. And needless to say, I'm not going tit for tat when I decide in the future to not extend a personal invite to those people. It wasn't many. I can probably count on my hand. It wasn't even that many. I think it was 2, to be exact. I think it was 2. But I know it was 3. But rest assured, in the future, they won't be getting anything else from me. Because, see, things get revealed. If you don't tell on yourself, if the mask don't fall off, somebody gonna tell on you. And those people who came were the ones who told on them. And they probably thought that it was a flex to ignore me. Why? Because secretly, they're weird with me. And when people don't like you like that, let's just be honest, when they don't like you like that, they get weird with you. So they let me know where they stand. Oh, you don't even have the common courtesy and decency to tell me whether you're coming or not? You don't like me. Okay, good. Now I know not to rock with you like that. You won't be getting another invite from me. Excuse me, y'all. I'm eating my dinner because I'm really hungry, but I really have to get this message out because when it just hit me, I have to go for it. So I'm going for it. Flaws and all. Excuse me. The last tactic that I'm going to talk about that weird people will do is they'll overly praise others. They will overly praise others in front of you on purpose. Now, I'm not saying people can't brag on their friends and family because I do the same. I do the same. But what I'm saying is they are particular about praising others for some of the same things that you are doing. If you, for example, just graduated with a master's and they didn't congratulate you, they didn't even acknowledge it, or they were dismissive of it, but then they're saying, oh, so-and-so, she just graduated with her master's. Oh, yeah, she is very smart. And you're looking like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Because clearly, I just graduated with my master's, and you didn't even tell me congratulations. You're being weird, ma'am, sir. Weird. And it might make you even question, did I tell them? Oh, let me tell them again. Well, I just graduated with my master's. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But so-and-so, they just graduated with their master's. Oh, my God. They're just so smart. And look, here's the kicker. Sometimes it'll be strangers. It'll be people they don't even know like that. It'll be a friend of a friend. But yet this person is your relative. Notice I didn't say family member. This person is your relative. So technically you're closer to them than the distant stranger. But they want to get in front of you and brag about what the distant stranger is doing, which is something that you are doing. But they don't want to give you credit. That's what it is. They don't want to give you credit. So they may overly praise others in front of you and treat strangers better than they treat you. Have your eyes open. Now, the last tactic, I just thought about this. It didn't even come to my mind initially. But the last tactic that people will use to be weird with you is that they'll place themselves close to people that they know you don't fool with. They will place themselves close or in the presence of people that they know that you don't fool with. I'm going to tell y'all a story about one of my family members. One of my family members, and I'm going to tell the story being as discreet as possible because I don't like putting people's business out there. But I did stop the video and call her and ask her if it was okay if I told this story, but I wasn't going to use her name, and she said yeah. So here I am. This family member is beefing with her best friend. She's beefing with her best friend. They no longer get along. Her best friend is an extremely weird person. She's done basically all of these weird tactics towards her. And me being the discerning person that I am, when she came to me with these concerns, I confirmed it. I said, you're daggone right. She's jealous of you. She's not a friend to you. So she decided to hold on to this person for as long as she could because, sometimes people have to see for themselves. And I let it go because I knew that. But I let her know, just know that I'm not fooling with her. Just know that. And just know that I can see straight through to her. So this particular family member would come to me often about what this friend had done. I said, yeah, she's not your friend. And I hope you eventually see that. Well, long story short, she eventually saw that. And they lost contact. But not even a year later, or maybe exactly a year later, another person that is also weird with my family member, who is actually a relative of both of us. So this is another person who is related to us, who moves weird, who I know for a fact is very jealous of this family member. I hope you're keeping up because I can't say their names or say who they are, but to protect confidentiality, but I hope you're keeping up. So the relative who is also weird and jealous of this particular family member, who has done many weird things in the past, who I've had to call out openly and underhandedly, hit my family member up out of the blue. Hit her up out of the blue, telling her of how she just got back in contact with my family member's ex-best friend. And she went on to say, oh, they had such good conversation. And oh, they just caught up. And she mentioned everything. But what she failed to mention is she didn't even acknowledge that they weren't speaking anymore. Now, if you talk to her, if you talk to your relative's bestie, and they are the connection. Okay, so y'all wouldn't even know who each other were unless it was for her. Don't you think it would come up that this person hasn't spoken to her in over a year? So I know you talked about it. I know she brought it up. I know she told you, oh, we're no longer friends, or we're no longer speaking. Or even if she didn't want to get into detail, I know she brought her up and she said, oh, I haven't spoken to her in a long time. And then the next natural question would be to ask why. I know it came up. She don't even have to tell me. But anyway, they proceeded to hang out. They proceeded to make a date and hang out. Now, a little backstory on this. It gets better, and I can't make this stuff up. Okay, let me back up before I get into the story, because I do understand that you may be lost at this point because I'm not using names. Okay, so let's call the weird relative Weird Rel. Let's call the weird former friend Weird Foe. Okay? So here, those are their names: Weird Rel and Weird Foe. Okay, so keep in mind that when Weird Foe and my family member met and became best friends, Weird Rel was always that relative who was jealous of their friendship. She did not like Weird Foe, and she always told my family member, Weird Foe is not really your friend. She's not your friend. And would pick out all these things that she would do. But it wouldn't be what I would say, because let's keep it honest. Weird Foe was always a foe, never a friend. But it wasn't those things. It was little silly things. It was, Weird Rel would say, Weird Foe is not your friend because she didn't speak to me when I came in. Little silly stuff like that. Or she would find reasons, Weird Rel would find reasons not to speak to Weird Foe whenever she was around. And Weird Foe would tell my family member, well, I don't know why she doesn't like me. I never did anything to her. And my family member would say, oh, I just think she's jealous of our friendship. And she was. She was. She was very jealous of their friendship. Unbeknownst to her, it was fake all along. Okay, but that is just to give you context of the history. So apparently, you two don't like each other. You have a problem with each other. But now, all of a sudden, Weird Foe is joining forces or teams with Weird Rel. Now, Weird Rel said that she hit up Weird Foe first, but who knows how the story really goes. But I know that Weird Rel is cut back. She doesn't have the same relationship with my family member once she peeped her jealous and weird ways. And we know that Weird Foe is cut off from my family member because she was figured out. Her weird ways were figured out. Her mask fell off. Okay? So these two are joining forces and getting together, pretending to be close friends, all because my family member chose to cut both of them back. Well, she cut one off and she cut one back. So Weird Rel is the one who was cut back. But because she was cut back, she decided to place herself around someone, that someone being Weird Foe, who she knows is no longer friends with my family member. I hope you all didn't get lost during that story. Maybe eventually my family member will give me permission to tell this story, because using, not names, but relations, because it gets good, it gets juicy. So that's just a small example of how people, one of the weird things they will do to you is they will place themselves around someone that they know you're not cool with on purpose, just to bother you. Again, thinking that it's a flex. But they look stupid. They look desperate. To me, that's the most desperate thing you could do, especially when neither of you even liked each other beforehand. Now, all of a sudden, I know what it is. The only thing you have in common is getting together and talking shit about my family member. That's the only thing you have in common. Why? Because you are weird. What do they call that? I think they call that trauma bonding, if I'm not mistaken. And it's whack as hell. Think about it. Two people have to get together, and they only get together because of their dislike of you, their hate of you. That's a shame. That's really sad, but it happens. I see it so often, and I just want you to be prepared for it. It's one of the weird tactics that these weird people will use. So some weird people are covert narcissist. And this means that they'll pretend to be sweet, but they're really using behind the scene tactics, like some of the ones I just named, to stay in control. It's how they stay in control, and it's how they stay close to you. Because some people know straight up, if you're being mean to them, some people know straight up, if they're being mean to you, you ain't gonna take it. That's why I said I really don't experience that a lot. People being outwardly mean to me, or saying mean things, or snarky things, in a mean tone. Because I'm an Aquarius, and I'm gonna be like, what? What was that? Can you say that again? So, they don't like to be challenged, and they don't like to be called out. So those covert narcissists are going to be outwardly sweet, and they're going to do the little sneaky tactics behind the scenes because it keeps them in control. And they disarm you with their charm. They're very charming. So to the onlooker, they look like they're being nice to you, and they look like they're being sweet to you. But if you're very discerning, and, you looking at them like, I don't even like you anyway. I don't even know why you talking to me. People are going to start looking at you as if you're the mean one. Because they're like, oh, she's nice. I don't know why you don't like her. I don't know why you have a problem with her. And see, those weird people are going to place themselves around you because they want to manipulate you. They want to be weird to you. Because these little weird tactics that they do could possibly bust down your self-esteem if you're not aware. And then you'll start doubting yourself. Well, maybe I'm not that great. Well, maybe it's not a big deal. Well, maybe it's not all that, because people don't act like it's important to them. People. This is probably one person who you have in your life who's being weird. And what do you care if they think anyway? They are not Beyonce. They don't have it going on like that. So if it's not somebody that you look up to, then it really doesn't matter what they think. Their little tactics are falling on deaf ears. It doesn't even matter to you. So the covert narcissist sees people as puppets. They see people as puppets to be manipulated. And that's why I said they'll place themselves in your presence. They'll pretend to be your friend. They'll do these little rude things, and they know exactly what they're doing. Don't be dismayed. They know exactly what they're doing. Sometimes they may even root back around you after the fact and offer a dry apology. No, you know what you're doing in that moment. If you see that also as a repeated pattern, you know that the person is being weird towards you. Oh, and that makes me think of something else. If someone always tries to ruin your happy events, like a birthday or something, like, you can't always be sick on my birthday, or something can't always be wrong when it's my birthday or when I'm celebrating something. Really, some people try it when they act stressed out and they're going through all types of drama. Sometimes they'll do it whereas though they acting like they're going through some drama with their man when your special event comes up. And then that just deflects the energy from you to them. They make it all about them. It's weird. Very weird. And they know exactly what they are doing. So you see, what I'm trying to get through to you is that when people are just outwardly mean and rude, sometimes they know you're going to cut them off. Especially if you're Aquarius like me. Cut off game. Too strong. Oh, you said what? Oh, no. Nope. I'm not dealing with that. So they want to stay around you so that they can be in the know. They want to know what's going on. They'll fake to be friends with you, but they do those little weird tactics, those little weird questionable things that make you feel doubt. If you're constantly feeling doubt or wondering if you're important to somebody, that's a red flag right there. You should know exactly where you stand with people. Exactly where you stand. That is in a romantic relationship and a friendship and a family ship. You should know exactly where you stand at all times. And if you have to question where you stand, that's your answer right there. If someone is being weird with you, don't ignore the signs. So the solution is to have standards. That's one. Call them out. That's two. Those things are self-explanatory. And gray rock. And gray rock means you don't have to give them any details. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to keep them abreast. You don't have to keep them in the know. They're not going to know much about you. If they're being weird, that is how you cut them back. You limit their access to you. And that's going to be a game changer, because you can't be afraid to lose anyone. Pay attention to who's in your life, who treats you well, and who treats you not so well. Because see, a lot of people are afraid to lose certain people, and that will keep you in relationships and situationships that are detrimental to you. So don't be afraid to lose anyone. Pay attention and know that anyone can get weird on you. It may catch you by surprise. Anyone can get weird on you. And it's not like we're just out here to hunt the weird people down. But what I'm saying is, when the red flags go up, don't dismiss them because you're afraid to lose a person. Because that is another puppet master tactic that they use, particularly the covert narcissists, to keep you around, because they know that they didn't do anything outwardly rude or mean, and they know that if you have a good heart, you're going to second guess yourself. But no, when people get weird with you and they use those little backhanded tactics to get at you, it's still an attack. It's still an attack. And you tolerate so much more when you're afraid of losing someone. And people know that. You're going to go back and second guess yourself or think, well, maybe they didn't mean it that well. Maybe they didn't hear me. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Maybe it's just all in my head. But I said it once and I'll say it again. People know exactly what they are doing. So in 2025, get ready for people to get weird with you. Everyone's not going to do it, but someone is going to do it. And they're going to think that you cannot pick up on the signs. But you watch my video, so you can. You listen to my video, so you're equipped. If there's one thing I can't stand, is to see people get taken advantage of. I can't stand it. I can't stand to watch people get used and abused. When people get weird with you, it's a form of abuse. Because why not just let me go? If you don't have my best interests at heart, then let me go. Just stop talking to me. I would prefer it. I would prefer it. Because every person that I'm around, I want what's best for them. I wish the best for them. And I have respect for them. The goal is for everybody to better themselves. The goal is to get better. So why would I ever get weird or mad when someone is doing that? Particularly if I care about them. That's the goal. That's why I pray for people, the people that I care about. But everybody don't think like that. Everybody don't think like you. Some people are just out for self. And if it's them that's not benefiting or getting the praise, they don't want anything to do with it. And if they know that they can't treat you mean and stay in your life, they're going to get weird. And lastly, before I go, I want to talk about the people who are not necessarily placing themselves next to you in order to treat you weird. But those people who you are in relation with due to proximity. So those are people like family members or friends of family members who happen to just be in your presence due to proximity. That could be a cousin or, like I said, a friend of a family member. Someone who, these are usually people that you grew up with. These are usually people that you grew up with. And they're not necessarily making an effort to stay connected to you or stay close to you. Now, these type of people act weird towards you because they just don't like you. And see, because you all grew up together, you're keeping them around. But over the years, as you've changed, and as they've changed too, you all start to grow distant. Or maybe to you, that's still, I want to say, your cousin, for example. But that cousin really don't like you. Yes, they're in relationship with you because they've always been. You all don't know any different, but they don't like you. So that's why they get weird on you. That's why they get weird. They really don't like you. They tolerate you. People who are tolerating you, they will get weird in an instant. They'll do all of the things that I said. Be dismissive of you, brag on other people who are doing the same things that you're doing, place themselves around people who they know don't like you or who you don't like. Why? Because they have that dislike, that common dislike of you in common. So also watch out for those people. If it's someone who you've grown up with, sometimes you have to just drop those people off. If they're showing you that they don't like you, they're ignoring your invites, they're not acknowledging you, they're pretending like they don't see the great things that you're doing, and say, "Ooh, I saw you just launched a business. Tell me about that." They want to turn their nose up and act like it doesn't exist. Knowing daggone well when you were working a dead-end job that you couldn't stand, oh, they wanted to hear about that. How's the job going? Tell me that. How's the job going? Because they want to take you back to that place and they want you to complain. They like when you don't like your life. But now that you're doing well for yourself and you're actually enjoying what you're doing, oh, they don't want to hear about that. Weird. They are weird. When people show you they are weird, believe them. That needs to be the saying for 2025. When people show you they are weird, believe them. Oh, you want to get weird with me? You want to get weird with me? All right, bet. Because once I peep it, this game over. Don't think that I'm going to keep you around once you've shown me that you're weird. Because why be weird with me? I'm not weird with you. Oh, you don't like me? All right, bet. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry. I thought we were on good terms, but I see that we aren't. And it just is what it is. Everybody you grew up with don't need to keep hanging around you. That's just point blank, period. And I am that person who was raised to believe that when you grew up with somebody, that's your friend, that's your family member for life. But everybody's not thinking like that. So if I'm the only one operating like that and I'm the only one loyal to you and want to see you do well, but you're not wishing me well, you got to go. You have got to go, because now you are a foe. You're not a friend. And we're not family. So sometimes you just got to call it how you see it. It is what it is. Call it how you see it, not what you want it to be. It's not going to be what you want it to be. It's just not. So I just want y'all to recognize it for what it is. Move like you know what it is. And be safe. Y'all take care.